And here in Nigeria, the Pan-Igbo socio-cultural organization Ohanaeze has emphasized the need to include ethnicity and religion as essential categories in the 2025 National Population Census. In a statement by the Secretary General of the body, Okechukwu Izioguzoro, Ohanaeze noted that the inclusivity was vital for producing accurate and unbiased demographic data pertaining to the Igbo population and other groups dispersed across all 774 local government areas of Nigeria. The group advised the federal government to take proactive measures to ensure a more accurate reflection of the nation's full spectrum of diversity in the next census, as this would mitigate any potential dispute for skewed or disproportionate demographic data. Arise News analyst Dayo Sobowale now joins us to discuss this demand and of what use such data can be to Nigeria in its development planning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure of being here.
Yes, you've heard the statement from Ohanaeze concerning some metrics that should be included in the data gathering if they want to conduct a census. What do you have to say?
You mentioned data and religion. I don't see what is data in that. You get me? The census is to know the number of people living in a nation. Get me? And that is what we have always done. But the thing is that it has never been accurate, or it has never reflected the reality is on the ground. For example, I'll tell you, if you talk of climate, we've done census before climate change became an issue. You will notice that when we have this census, areas where the climate has driven people away, you get me? You have those areas having more population than the destination of migration. So people have always quarreled with that. I remember when I was doing national service, when we were posted, it was 74, 75. We had a census earlier. This was disputed all over the nation. And you see, when we go to, I served in former Northeast, on the basis of that, the census figures, and they created 6 states out of the former Northeast. But if you look at the former states up till now, it's a very big, expansive area. But the population is scanty. It is contiguous to Chad, to Niger. You get me? But those nations never claimed the sort of population we were claiming for our Northeast and the North. So when we were serving then, see, we went around on a 2-week state tour. And we didn't see anybody. But nobody was speaking until one day, one boy from Cross River said, these 16 million people, which side they did? That is my background to what we have to discuss. These 16 million people, which side, everybody just burst out. So we discovered that from our various homes, we have been told not to discuss the census, and also that we don't get into trouble. The thing is still there. That is the sort of suspicion the Ohanaeze is trying to say in so many words, talking about ethnicity and religion. Those are not the issues. The issue is getting accurate census figures, correct and accurate census figures. I thought Ambassador will have the guts to do that, but it was shied away. Buhari was going to do it, but he lumped it with the election. This is our last election. And then this currency change. That was why everybody said, no, let's leave census out of this for now. We'll do it later. Now it's on the table of the president, current president. I wish him the best of luck. If we can get an accurate census, our problem will be solved in this country. I tell you, whether religion or whatever, ethnicity, if you get accurate census, we can plan well, we can develop, we can move forward. But I don't think, okay, this president has been brave so far. I never thought he would remove fuel subsidy. He did, and he's man of the year now, in spite of that. So if you can muster the courage to do it, you will remain my hero for life. I tell you. So, your question?
All right, Mr. Sobowale. I really appreciate the background you gave us of your experience. 16 million people were there and they really appreciate that. I also appreciate how you said that Ohanaeze Ndigbo is alluding to the fact that we haven't gotten the census right, but they're saying it with so many words.
Yes.
What would it take? What would it take for us to get this right, especially since you've also mentioned that if we get it right, all the issues in our country would be solved?
Let's get a leader who is committed. I don't want to be personal now, but you see, I thought Obasanjo would do it.
When you mean you thought Obasanjo would do it, what does that statement mean? Because I'm a little bit confused.
I said, Obasanjo is a detribalized Nigeria.
Yes.
We need a detribalized person who will not think of where he comes from to get the census done.
But
Obasanjo is very
but they carried out the
detribalized.
census in 2006.
Under
Obasanjo?
That's the same thing on the ground.
So I wouldn't want
what
us
I'm
So when you
to...
say when you thought Obasanjo, because I participated in that census as an ad hoc staff back in the day.
So you are saying it's very accurate?
But my question,
saying
Mr.
that?
Open for
Sobowale,
debate, but Obasanjo carried out the census.
Look, I've given you a climatological example. If you don't buy into that, it's as environmental.
So
Yes.
can we please focus on the question that I asked? Because I do know that what would it take for us to get this right?
I've answered it. A detribalized leader. That's what he's quarreling with. Because I mentioned Obasanjo. If you have a leader who is detribalized, who does not think of North or South, or Yoruba, Igbo, or Hausa, say, okay, send people into the field, let's have an accurate census. And we are able to do that, then once we get the figures right, we'll be okay. That's the answer. Detribalized leadership, committed detribalized.
So, okay, the reason
that
why
is really interested in using data, demographics for planning, then we'll be okay.
So we all have accepted, or we share, we probably share a common line of thought when it comes to the political interest that is involved.
Accuracy. That's what
Okay, accuracy of this particular.
And I'm older than you in that suspicion. Right. So go ahead.
Okay, where I'm going to with this is with the political undertone that figures and data do carry here in Nigeria, majorly for election. Do you think we would ever come to that point whereby we can have a proper data for planning as against, because we're usually when you participate in an election, I mean in a census, there are always talks that the ripple effect will affect elections. And going into the 2007, they said there were rumors about doctoring of figures. Yes, there were talks about doctoring of figures in some areas of Nigeria, not in the entirety of Nigeria, in some areas of Nigeria, to be able to reflect what the perceived notion before the census, so that what we have maybe as our data going into the election from INEC almost tallies with the data that we are trying to produce from the MPC. How does politics affect census in Nigeria? And can we overcome that?
Just say that. That is what I have to answer. It is historical. You get me?
Yes.
But let me tell you clearly. It is because allocation of seats for election is based on census figures. Creation of local government is based on census figures. Fiscal allocation is based on census figures. That is the background for the politicization of the census process that has not made us to be able to get an accurate census. But you see, some of us have been studying this for long. I'm a marketing person, I'm a fellow Institute of Marketing. UAC, the big companies, they have their consumption figures, their sales figures all over the country. You get me? So they know where the people are. They wanted to bring out, corporate Nigeria wanted to bring out alternate census figures, but they were stopped because it was during the military era. Do you get me now? So it's not as if there are no alternative figures to corroborate or refute whatever census figures you put out. Get me? Because wherever people are, they consume. Marketing departments of the big multinationals, they know where their customer base are, and they know the number of people there. So when they see some figures that say the number of people they sell to, that those figures are 1/4 of that, they know something is amiss. But it is they are private companies. It is not their purview to get an accurate census figure. So it is not even an overloaded issue. It is an open secret, not lost in plain sight. That, then I almost forgot, because you spoke so much at length, the historical side of it. It is unofficial, but you read about Nigeria's history. See, the legacy of the British colonialists is that they told the northern leaders then that this thing is a game of numbers. You must always be more than the South. That was the census we did in 1962 when Balewa was there. If you added the East and West, you have regions, they were more than the North. They canceled the census. So you don't know what I'm trying to say. So it is our baby. It's our problem we know. So let's wait for a detribalized leader, committed leader, and we have a good census, and we will develop.
I hope we live to see the day that we have a detribalized leader.
Yes.
Given all these facts that you've outlined for us, I really appreciate your insight, Mr. Dayo Sobowale. I'm sure our viewers do as well. Arise News analyst, Mr. Dayo Sobowale, many thanks for joining us here.